Today on Back to Paranormal, we're going to be talking about paranormal stuff in general and your concerns and some comments and questions that you may have. So we're going to be tackling all that today on this week's episode of Back to Paranormal. Well, hello and welcome back to our show, Back to Paranormal. I am one of the co-hosts. My name is Brian Mitchell, and I am here with...
Marjorie.
Hey, Marjorie. How you doing? You're looking great tonight.
I'm a mess.
No, you are you? No, you're not. I don't think so. I think you look really beautiful tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm excited about this show, and...
I am as well.
Yeah.
I am as well. I mean, we have done Q&A episodes before.
Right, we have. Yeah.
But, I figure, why don't we start off season 2?
With some comments and questions.
Concerns.
Right. And also what we think about certain things, because people aren't asking about that, and I think you might want to know what we're thinking about certain things. So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's tell them. Give them what they want.
Yeah, give them what they want.
The people.
Exactly. So today we're going to start off, we always start off with like a little cocktail or a drink or something. And last week we were teetotalers. So this week we are going, what are we having today?
Workman's beer. It's a workman's episode.
A workman's episode, yes, about us.
About us and
about
our
the
work.
Show. So, what's the workman's beer?
We got PBR, baby.
What does that stand for?
Pabst Blue Ribbon Beer.
Ah.
This is a workman's beer.
That's a workman's beer.
You want to have a sip?
I think we will. Here we go.
Boop.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Boop.
Ooh.
Sounds good.
Okay, here we go. Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Ah, that's good stuff. One of my best friends and I were talking the other day, and she said, Marjorie, I'm so concerned. I've started drinking every night. My life is so stressful between my husband and my child and the school and this and that and living here. And I said, well, I don't think you should take to drinking.
Right.
But a little, something here and there, and
did you recommend Pabst Blue Ribbon?
Yeah, we were talking about what she likes to drink sake, which that will just knock you out, But why doesn't she just go straight to NyQuil and the bed? And then we started talking. And I asked her,
NyQuil will knock you out. Yeah.
Have you ever had PBR? Not a clue.
She didn't know what it was.
Not a clue. She had no idea. It was like Pabst Blue Ribbon beer when you were in college. You never had PBR.
It's like the beer's been around for like 400 years.
I know.
Okay, maybe it's not that
old. And I was like, are you from America? And then I was like, okay, now I need to know this. Have you ever had moonshine? Like real moonshine? And she was like, no. I said, okay, then we're in good shape. We're not in any risk of you just hitting the bottle every night.
Are you gonna whip her up some? You gonna make some moonshine?
Make her some moonshine.
Send it over? Yeah.
I would love to make her some moonshine.
Do you know how to make moonshine?
There are members of my family who know how to do these things.
Oh, I understand. All right. Well, the Pabst Blue Ribbon it's not a bad beer.
No, it is refreshing, especially when it's super cold and you've been outside all day. Mm-hmm. You don't want anything to really knock you out, and it's good.
Yeah.
It's yummy.
Yeah. Well, when it's time to relax, one beer stands clear.
Is that the
No, that's for another brand. I'm sorry.
Okay. Anyway, enough of that. We have this refreshing beer here, Workman's beer, at the beginning of our Workman's episode, and we are going to start to read to our listeners some questions that have come in.
Okay. And the first one comes from
Mark Paul, our good friend Mark Paul.
Mark Paul. There he is.
He was a lovely guest on our show.
He's listening right now.
I hope so.
He is. But, he's from the...
Swanton, Ohio Paranormal Group.
Yes, a good friend of the show, by the way.
He is, and he's a really nice person, really nice man.
Yep.
Mark expressed concern. I'm reading this from your email, my dear. Mark expressed concern over our last podcast where we said that, quote, we reunited for the new season. And quoting Mark, and maybe we're paraphrasing, did you and Hottie have a falling out? What do we say to that?
Well, we didn't fall.
First of all, Hottie.
Yeah.
Thank you. Unless you're talking about Brian.
No, he was. Well,
Yeah,
no, I don't. He
know.
was talking about you.
No, we didn't have a falling out,
Yeah.
my love.
No. We took a little bit of a break
From the show.
and we had a good time last year, but with the holiday season and doing a lot of different things, we decided just to kind of take a brief
Take
break.
a little break, but not a break from each other.
No, not at all. So we're very much together.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, but no, we're all good. So if any of you had that concern from the last show, no need to worry. We have not split apart
No.
and then come back together and reunite. We've been united all this time. So no worries there. So how do you feel about the new season?
Well, I'm excited.
Start.
We have a couple really interesting things lined up, and
Yeah.
actually, it's addressed in one of the questions.
Oh, it is.
Yes, hold on.
You know which one that is?
Hold on.
Okay.
We'll get to
I'm
it.
all excited. I'm waiting for this.
Oh,
Yeah. No?
okay. Well, it's question number 7.
Go for
Okay.
it. Go for
All right. What or who would be a dream guest to have on the show, and why?
And why?
Well, you go first. I want to hear.
Believe it or not, I would like to. There are a couple of celebrities I would like to have on the show. Mm-hmm. And so, in no particular order, Dan Aykroyd, I would love to have on the show.
Oh, wow. Neat.
Because he has a belief in the paranormal, and he's had experiences.
He does.
He
I didn't
does,
know
yeah.
that.
Another one who was actually a guest of Oprah Winfrey. It was Jeremy Renner, who also he had
A near death.
a near-death experience with a snow plow or snow. Yeah, what do they call that?
I think it was a snow
Snow
plow.
plow, yeah.
A
He had
plow
a
machine.
Yeah, so it was pretty high profile. There is another person that I would love to have on, which is a psychic medium. It's John Edward.
Oh, well, is he from Long Island?
He's from Long Island, yeah.
I would love to have
So
him.
yeah, so I mean, there's others, but but they're pretty high profile. I'd like to have them on the show, and and maybe we'll try to coax them.
Dan
out.
Aykroyd would be very special. I've never
Yeah.
heard that he had paranormal experiences or anything like that.
Yeah, he did, and there's a lot of others,
Well, what category did he have? Like alien or
No, I think he's had spiritual stuff. Yeah,
interesting?
yeah, he's had stuff happen. So, yeah, so he tends to get involved with these projects like Ghostbusters, which was
Oh yeah.
he wrote. Yeah, and I mean, of course, that's,
He wrote that?
he's one of the writers, and he started. Yeah, I thought so. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. He didn't. I don't think he directed it, but he was. Very much involved with that project. And a lot of people don't know. Well, a lot of people do know that the ghost in that was actually modeled after John Belushi.
Which
The Slimer ghost.
the ectoplasm.
The ectoplasm. Yeah, I think he was supposed to be modeled after John Belushi. I think the cartoon that they do and the logo is basically a caricature of John Belushi. It's supposed to be anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. So like a little tribute.
Neat.
Yeah.
I never would have thought of those.
Yeah. So
Those guys.
yeah, I mean that's there were other people that I would love to have on the show. We keep talking about Eben Alexander, trying to have him on.
I would love to. He
Yeah.
was on my list for that answer.
Oh, okay.
Of course.
Well, what's your okay?
Well, Eben Alexander,
Yeah.
I just would love to talk to him. I'm just so afraid that we're going to be told no because he's tired of telling the story over and over again. But you know what? If you don't reach out, you're never going to know.
Right.
Also, I just love Jack Osborne
Oh yeah.
because he's into it all.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, UAPs, UFOs, Skinwalker Ranch, Sasquatch, spirits, poltergeists, after-death experiences, all of that. He's gone into some pretty scary, haunted locations, and he's experienced. I feel we wouldn't even have enough time to talk to that gentleman, but I would love to have him on.
Yeah. Well, okay. That's these are our wish list.
They're little
guests.
We'll
see what happens.
Paranormal wish list.
We'll see what happens. Anybody else? Is there anybody? I do want to add. I would love to have on, Mr. Burry and Miss Bruni from Kindred Spirits.
Those guys as well. And I was going to say Tyler Henry.
Me too, which
who
is
a
funny.
psychic medium.
Yeah.
But then I read an article the other day that he's actually quite sick.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh.
So our prayers go out to Tyler Henry,
Yeah.
of course,
Yeah.
and his husband.
Wow.
Yeah, I was really saddened to read that because I've admired him for quite some time.
Yeah. No, I think he's right on with his stuff.
Oh, he's got
we've
tremendous gift.
We've had some very very great guests on in the past. And,
Oh heavens, yeah.
yeah. So
Yes.
not taking anything away from those previous guests, but we're just talking about our wish list for the future.
I've been so happy with every guest that we've ever had on.
Yeah. Well, we try to go for people that that really believe in this stuff, and we don't want to get hoaxsters on. And I'm sure one day we're going to have somebody on here that's not less than authentic, but we're going to try to ward off against that.
I wouldn't want that on our show.
No, we wouldn't.
I think every guest that we've had is always so relatable and earnest, and and they have these experiences that are real, and it's coming to our listeners in its absolute purest, like most unadulterated form, and
Right.
that's what we aim to provide.
Yeah, we're striving for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I know somebody's going to slip by. We're going to bring somebody on. They're going to be like a carnival showman, They're going to be peddling snake oil and stuff like that. Yeah, just one swing of this and you'll have the best experience of your life. Yeah. So I don't know. Anyway, okay.
We can take care of them.
Yeah, we can. So
Okay, so here.
Oh, I get to pick out the next
You
one?
get to choose the next.
Okay. Oh, this is actually a good one. Okay, this was sent in by one of our listeners. And, okay, here we go. You ready?
I am ready.
And we both have to answer this. So, What would scare you more and why? And whoever it was gave us 4 choices. So it was a space alien.
Space alien.
Yes. Okay, a real-life spirit, a Sasquatch, or a mischievous poltergeist, which could qualify as a spirit, but I guess it would be more nasty. Not just so
like a mischievous poltergeist.
So what do you think? And why?
Am I all alone? Like, is this like all by
yourself?
Oh
yeah.
no. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right. A mischievous poltergeist. I will not take too kindly to that, especially when China and crystal are involved, or like anything from my Imari, my precious Imari and Kangxi collections.
Right.
But there are ways that you can. I don't know. I've never had one.
Never had one. I'm sorry.
A mischievous poltergeist. I've never had an interaction with a mischievous poltergeist.
Right.
As yet.
Right.
A real life spirit. I think that I expect those by now in my life, with the experiences that I grew up with and that I've had, and I just know that they're everywhere. I just accept that, and I'm accepting of it. if I'm alone in the forest by myself in the dark, like naked, and I see, I don't know what naked has to do with it, but just super vulnerable. Okay?
Naked and afraid.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a show.
If I'm naked and afraid.
Yeah.
No, I'll have a jump scare. I'll have a little, oh, okay. But
What would you fear most?
I
though?
think fearing Sasquatch, I think at first, like most people, I'd probably soil my trousers. But I feel like I could charm my way out of that situation.
Okay.
As you know, I have a way with wildlife.
You do.
The birds
like the
like
birds.
to come around.
She's Snow White, by the way. All the animals come up.
And
they
little fawns too. They come
Yeah.
up to me and they want to say hi. And it's
See, I come home. The place is immaculately clean,
Butterflies
and it's like
land on me. The place is not immaculate.
I kind of wonder sometimes if all these animals came in and cleaned up the house with you.
I whistle while I work.
Yeah.
What can I say?
No. Well, yeah.
Sasquatch, yeah, I can charm my way out of that. I'll be terrified, but I think space alien, hands down.
Why?
I just don't know what to expect. I don't know what to expect with any of these options. Space alien.
Mm-hmm. You can give two answers if you want.
They could take you up in their flying saucer.
They could.
They could. People get beamed up.
They get beamed.
There's disappearances, and then they can
experiments and stuff. Is that what you're thinking of?
They better not.
Yeah. Well, they're.
They better not. I'm Scottish. Yeah, I think that would because
that's the big unknown.
Yeah.
Yeah, where it could be potential harm. Right?
Well, now I'm afraid because we're beaming these sound waves out. I don't know. Okay, how about you? What's your answer? And I'm sorry I gave such a long answer. I apologize.
No. Hey, inquiring minds want to know. Yeah.
They did ask.
They do. No, I think low on the list would be the most scared. I mean, I'd be scared of all of it, really. But I think I could handle a spirit, like a spirit appearing. I could probably handle. I mean, I'd be startled, but Sasquatch I'd be afraid of just because
they're huge.
If I was eating a sandwich, maybe it was supposed to be his sandwich or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, he might
and
get
you'd
angry
lose your arm along with the hero.
with my head. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think I would be more fearful of the poltergeist and the UFO guy, the space alien. And the reason why with poltergeist, they're good at knife throwing, apparently.
I have seen the knives. And also it's dude, I just cleaned up in here, man. Okay. like that kind of
that's something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but the space, I think the space
alien.
I think the space alien, I have to agree. That's probably would be the most fearful because if they abduct you, it's kind of like, you're at their mercy. And it's like, they could be doing experiments. They could be, rearranging things and, you might come back with
a chip.
A chip.
The micro.
Your head may be on a dog or something, So I would, I would kind of fear that more than.
You just don't know what kind of tricks they have up their sleeve.
Yeah, I know.
They could come at you with laser beams.
Laser beams and laser darts.
Frickin' laser beam.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So was that a good? Yeah,
that is a good because that's a tough one.
It is a tough one.
Yeah.
All right.
Sasquatch. And
Let's move on. Let's move on to the next thing.
If you could time travel,
ooh,
where and when would you like to visit?
Now, there's a show on the Hallmark Channel.
Oh, yes, we've gotten into this show.
It's actually a good show.
It's a very good show.
It's called The Way Home. And it's kind of an offbeat show. I mean, I don't know how they explain this, but somehow people dive into a pond, which is pretty close to them. And,
it's like a watering hole.
Yeah. And so they dive in and then they resurface and they come back at a different time. And I mean, and it goes back to like colonial times or even pre-colonial
But
times.
they're going back to the same
locale.
location. So they jump into the pond and they come back out of the pond at a different time.
A different time, and then basically, you follow their adventures.
And it's all very centric around this one particular family and that location where the family roots go back like hundreds of years and things like that.
So I hope all these people are not diving into like lakes and stuff, hoping to resurface at the time of the Beatles or something. Popular. No, I don't know.
People do.
Yeah. So
What about you?
Well, I guess I should answer it first, right? Okay.
Please.
All right. Believe it or not, it's really kind of hard because, my background is in animation. I would have really liked to work for the Walt Disney Studio because I'm an animator. And I would have liked to been there when they were making those films like the Snow White and the Pinocchio and stuff like that. And
The Old Mill.
The Old Mill and Fantasia and all these wonderful films. I would have loved to be there at that time making these things. And so that would probably be, for me, that would be the ideal time. Or maybe in the 50s, coming up in the... Because, it wasn't the heyday there, but there was a lot of exciting things going on at that studio, and I would have liked to be a part of it. So
You would have done really well.
Well, thank you so much.
Yes.
Yeah. So that, or working in the cartoon business in its heyday. How about you?
Gosh, the Wild West, because I would have done well.
You would have cleaned up.
Well, I could have been a gunslinger.
Oh, her gunslinging skills. There you go. Marjorie the Kid.
No, I'm not actually joking. I know I joke around a lot.
No, she's being on the level. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's interesting.
Straight shooter.
That's pretty straight shooting. All right, let's move. We have another question.
We do. We have more.
We got another.
My love, we have more.
Okay, great.
Okay, all right. Ooh, what has been your favorite Back to Paranormal episode so far to record? You may name more than one if necessary. What was your favorite one to record?
Oh, jeez. I would name one with a guest and one maybe just us. Mm-hmm. Just us, because we've done a few of those. I think for me, one of the more fun ones, and you might disagree, is the UFO Witness episode. Because basically...
that was actually on my list.
Because I'm just ragging on the show. And
Ben Hansen.
Yeah.
Whom I actually like. Yeah.
Yeah, he's been on a lot of different things. I just feel like the show is just, they didn't... I feel like that they kind of didn't do enough.
They didn't
work on
feature what he had to offer.
Yeah, and
to the best of its ability.
Exactly, and because of that, we
had a lot of fun.
We had a lot of fun, kind of making fun of it. But
nice.
But I think one of our best guests. I mean, we had Carrie Ann on last week, and she's excellent. But I think I have to go to Diane Calderon.
That was exactly the one that I was going to say.
Really?
Absolutely.
And I think the reason why was because it was such a, to me, it was kind of an amazing episode. I really kept expecting the ceiling fan to start turning by itself.
You did keep looking up.
I kept looking
my
up.
Love.
Yeah, there were things that were happening as we were recording it where we were getting these vocal anomalies on the... I mean, we could hear it as it was going on. We could hear stuff. And, it might have been from the Zoom call, might not have been. I'm not, 100%. But we haven't had that.
This is the only one that we've had that happen. And it was always when she was speaking.
Yeah. Yeah. So there were things going on during that episode that were, I was really fully expected something to happen in front of us. in the room, which would have been total validation. But I think there was enough stuff happening with that episode.
Well, it was happening in her room.
Yeah, yeah.
And that one moment where you heard "Mom," like that.
Yeah.
He was like trying to get her attention.
Right.
Plus, also, her story is as sad as it is. It's such a beautiful, beautiful story, and I just feel like just in awe of her.
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I agree.
Just in awe. I'm just unbelievably impressed. She's, yeah.
We didn't talk about these questions, by the way. We kind of.
No, I didn't think that. I thought you were going to say Jennifer Ann. Psychic medium, Jen, because it was so personal to you.
Yeah, no, it was that was a really. I mean, look, we've done a lot of these shows. I really liked all of them, but there's certain things that kind of stand out, and it's no offense to anybody. It's just, I think with Jennifer Ann, she gave us this wonderful long interview, and same thing with Joe Giaquinto.
Yes,
which. Just really wonderful, wonderful stuff. But Diane, it was a very personal story, and then things just started happening in the middle of the show. And I think we didn't have anything like that happen with Jennifer, or maybe a little bit with Joe, But it doesn't make those shows any less powerful or anything. I think they're some of our best shows. Mm-hmm. But these are our personal standouts.
Yeah, she was my top of all time.
And I think UFO Witness, I think, is just when we did that. I think the show is funny to listen to.
we had some laughs.
Yeah. So anyway.
At someone else's expansion, making me so disappointed in myself but I couldn't help it.
Why? We're kind of in agreement on it, though.
We were.
We
were.
Yeah. So.
Okay. So
where are we now? All right.
How about that one?
Oh. Ooh. Okay, this is a good one. Is that the last? Oh, no. How about this one?
Oh, ooh, yeah, that's a good. Yeah, I like multiple choice.
Yeah.
I like multiple choice.
Okay, here we go. You have 4 choices, Marjorie.
Ooh.
Okay, here we go. Where would you like to spend overnight, meaning sundown to sun up, investigating, and why? And I'm going to give you the 4 choices. So, the Queen Mary, we're going to tell you what these are before we do anything, just to think about it.
Okay.
Camping in the wilderness near Whitehall, New York.
Okay.
Tombstone, Arizona, and Skinwalker Ranch.
Hell no to the Skinwalker. Okay. Not happening.
Okay. So if you don't know, Skinwalker Ranch is a piece of property. It's out in the West. And what state is that in? Do you know? Skinwalker Ranch?
I think it's New Mexico.
Might be. Well, we'll look that up. Tombstone, Arizona. That's the name of the town, and it's an old Western ghost town. Mm-hmm. That's where the OK Corral was there, right? OK Corral, and
lots of violence, lots of bloodshed.
Yes. So there's a lot of tombstones in Tombstone, and so anyway, I know people have gone there. They claim the place is haunted,
mm-hmm.
and
I really still regret that the last time we went out there, we chose to go to Sedona instead of Tombstone because we had that free day.
We had a free day. Well, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. But anyway, the Queen Mary is it's an old ship, and basically a lot of people took vacations on it back in the 30s. And it's now retired, and you can tour the ship, but it's notoriously haunted. And so there's been ghost investigations on there. I've been on the Queen Mary. I swear I saw something on there that made my back hairs go up. And,
was that when you saw the reflection in the mirror?
Yeah, everybody had left, and I was tying my shoes, and all of a sudden this image came into the mirror, and I was just looking at it, and at the time Disney was managing the ship, and so they had installed some effects so that people would see stuff, but this was after basically the tour group had moved on, and all of a sudden this reflection showed up while I was tying my shoe, just for me. And so that's always been a question was this a real thing or was this something that was fabricated? And I can't tell you. Can't tell you. So anyway, but yeah, I think they still do ghost tours, and I did take
And
the
she's
ghost
in
tour.
California?
It's in California in Long Beach. It's moored. I think that's what they call it. Moored in Long Beach. Yeah. So anyway, those are the choices, Marjorie, and I think we already know hands down what you don't want to investigate. But what about those other three? What do you think?
Tombstone.
Tombstone.
Like I said, if I were to go back in time, Gunslinger was one of the options.
Oh yeah, you'd be slinging with the ghosts over there. Yeah. Well, there you go.
How about you?
What would be the one? I think Tombstone. It would either be that or the Queen Mary, because now I want to know. I don't think I would want to hang out in the woods up in Newhall. Not Newhall, Whitehall.
Whitehall, yeah.
Whitehall, New York is basically, that's where they have the Sasquatch Festival that we did an episode. That was actually, that was up there too.
Right, the Adirondack Sasquatch Festival.
Yeah, and so, the woods in that area, supposedly there was Sasquatch sighting.
A lot of people have people come from all over.
Yeah, we had talked with some people up there, including the sheriff, who's now retired, and he has a book out about seeing a Sasquatch.
Mr. Goslin, yes.
So that was. So anyway, I would probably decline that. Not just for Sasquatch. I mean, there's bear up there. There's
coyote.
There's rattlesnake.
Yeah.
So there'd be a lot of things that would probably deter me from doing that. But I think it would either be the Queen Mary or Tombstone. I mean, there's rattlesnakes there too. But I think I could handle it over there.
Yeah, I'm going for Tombstone.
Yeah, Tombstone. Okay, so there you go.
Okay.
And we have one more? Let's see.
Okay. Other than our wonderful show,
yes.
What is your favorite paranormal show or movie? You can name more than one, and why?
Oh. I really like the movie that we saw. I think it was it After Death? Was it After Death?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I thought that was an excellent picture, and it related to me in a weird way.
Angel Studios.
Yeah. It was. We saw it once, and then we saw it again, and I think we were both very moved by it. And so that would be, I'm going to give you the second answer, which is going to be TV. And the show that we really enjoy, I think we enjoy together, is the Osbournes' Want to Believe.
Love that show.
But it's still on the same line. I like that show, but there's another show called Paranormal Caught on Camera that I really like. Mm-hmm. They're both very similar. The reason why I like the Osbournes is because it's just very entertaining. Because they're
highly entertaining.
They're entertaining, and but they're presenting these clips, and they're not just taking them at face value. So they're putting it on some sort of a scale, which we're still trying to figure out how they rate these things. Mm-hmm. But it's what is it, boogie woogie or oogie woogie?
Mm-hmm. Boogie boogie scale.
Boogie woogie scale, yeah. And basically, it's
fun.
Yeah. Do you think this is real? Do you not think this is real? And so they're kind of like, and they're all three, including the dogs, they're all weighing in on it. So I think that would probably be my favorite show. And it's such a shame that it's not in production anymore. But it was fun while it lasted. It's a couple of seasons and some laughs.
It's a
some
hoot.
Spooks. Yeah, some spookiness. So
it's a hoot and it's a spooky. Yeah, no, I like
it's a spook and a hoot. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So.
I think that After Death was riveting, and it's such a beautiful movie.
Yeah, it's very well done.
For me, it's really not a paranormal movie. I was thinking Interstellar.
Oh.
With Anne Hathaway and Matthew McConaughey and.
Yeah, that's when they're...
It's more sci-fi, I guess, but for me, I think the the only thing that cannot be, restricted by time and space is love.
Yeah.
And
Which leads me to that Christopher Reeve movie with
Somewhere in Time.
Somewhere in Time, which
yes.
is a time travel movie. But that's a work of fiction,
It is,
Yeah.
but it's about this.
It's about love.
Yeah, it's about just an overriding theory. I subscribe to this theory
Right.
about love, and
Right.
it's like the water goes in circles and back and forth in waves, and in terms of show, Osbourne's "Wanna Believe." Hands down.
Hands down.
Those
fun.
guys are great. And
Real clips,
the most
real clips,
recent seasons of Paranormal caught on camera, they've actually really kind of increased the quality of what they're showing. It's a lot more like when it first started, you would see maybe one or two interesting clips per episode, and then and now it's like they're not submitting things that are looking like someone's pulling strings behind the door, behind the dresser,
Yeah, I think early on, they would have they'd have a door and then they'd have a bed in front of it, and so the bottom of the door is obstructed.
Right, like someone's down there.
Yeah, so all of a sudden the door opens up, and, and then it shuts real fast, and it's like, oh, somebody's doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or at least that's what I'm thinking. It could be real stuff, but I think the clips that they're picking now for the new episodes I think they're really scrutinizing.
By and large, better quality.
I always say, when you're producing a show, sometimes you don't have enough material, and then you're kind of fudging. Which
you have people to answer to. You have a job. You have a job to do.
Yeah.
You have people who are employed. You have to.
Right.
They gotta pay them.
A show is scarce.
I understand that. I don't like to be too critical.
Yeah, a show is scarce on clips when they show it 3,000 times in the show. And they do close-ups, and then they pull back, and it's grainy, and and then they come back from a commercial, and they're still showing the same clip.
No, you call it padding.
That's
why you don't like that show Terror in the Woods, because they go back over and over. They tell.
It's like they got 6 minutes of material, and they show 3 of it, and then when they come back from the commercial, they're showing 2 minutes of the previous.
I like that show because some of the stories are like, wow, I can't believe this happened to this person.
Yeah.
Of course that is if it did, but also you're like, think it's a little bit of Groundhog's Day. You're like, did we not just discuss this before the commercial break?
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but
how's that Pabst Blue Ribbon going down?
I haven't. I had one more sip. I'll have another sip.
You gotta have another sip.
I'm gonna have another sip. Do you want a sip?
No. I had so much. I'm sticking a seltzer right now, but it was good.
It's good
stuff. It's an old-fashioned beer.
It is old-fashioned.
It still satisfies. Mm-hmm. I feel like I'm doing a commercial for them.
You have that kind of voice.
I do. Well, okay.
All right. Well, those are the questions that we chose, to answer, and I hope.
Yeah. If you have any more, toss them our way. You can go to our website, www.backtoparanormal.com, and we have a library of shows. You can go back and check them out.
Please do.
Yeah, please do that. So what are we doing next week?
We are interviewing. Well, why don't you tell?
I can't reveal. It's not solid yet.
Oh.
But we're trying to get a guest on that. They'll be very interesting, and
I'm excited about it.
Yeah. So yeah, and they'll be talking about a couple of different things. So it's not just one subject. It's going to be a multitude of different things. I hope.
So stay tuned.
Yeah, you stay tuned, people. So I want to express my gratitude for all the people that are coming back, and listening to our shows. And
Yeah, thanks for not forgetting about us during
Yeah.
our hiatus. I do appreciate that.
did we forgot about them though, didn't we?
No, I didn't.
Oh no, I didn't either.
No way.
Yeah.
I love doing the show. I love doing the show with you. I even love just recording a 1 minute, thing. I really enjoy it.
It's a
And
lot of fun. We have a lot of
is.
fun doing these things.
I do.
Yeah, I actually enjoyed these questions too. I think it was a little bit of a different type of show.
It was
for us.
different. I
Yeah.
mean, some of them it's hard to make a choice.
Yeah, it is.
But now actually you've piqued you've piqued my interest with this Queen Mary. I think I've seen clips. I think you've shown me some clips
Yeah,
of things of an investigation. I just can't remember who or when.
I'm pretty sure.
'Cause
Like
we've
Ghost-
gone over so much stuff for you all that we
Yeah.
do a lot of research and things like
I'm
that.
pretty sure Ghost Hunters out of Rhode Island. I'm pretty sure they did it. They did an investigation there. And if they didn't, I'm sure somebody else did. We've had to. Well, we're going to check that out. We'll check it out. Maybe we'll talk about it next week before we actually go into our interview. How about
Okay,
that?
sounds good.
Yeah, sounds great. Anyway, you still look great.
So do you, honey.
Oh, thank you. And so I think we should wrap it up. What do you think?
I agree.
All right.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks for listening. Come back next time for more episodes of
Back to Paranormal.
Good night, everybody.
Good night and God
God
bless.
bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you.